Hi, you've tuned into the GFree and Happy Show. Tonight, we're talking about GMO. Do you know what GMO is? Do you know, would you like it on labeled on your food that you consume? Anita from Yes on 522 will tell us why labels matter. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to the GFree and Happy Show that happens every night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm your host, Kathy, and I have been gluten-free for 4 years and counting. So tonight, I think it's very important. Labels do matter to me because I am gluten-free, and if I eat gluten, I'm in big trouble. So labels are it's part of my world now. I read every single label that I want to consume any kind of food with. So when I heard about Yes on 522 that Washington State will be voting for, I got really excited because not only am I looking for, I don't actually do a lot of high fructose corn syrup anymore because it was in everything. So I kind of got educated in this labeling. And so I think it's really important that we all kind of take a look at what we're eating. So that's why I have Anita from Yes on 522. I think labels matter a lot, and she's going to talk about that in just a few minutes. But first, episode 34 of the GFree and Happy Show is brought to you by Oval Eye TV. Oval Eye TV hosts and produces live video events built to meet your objective. Visit Oval Eye TV to request a free 30-minute consultation today to find out more about going live with your brand. All right, so let's get Anita on, and we're going to ask her questions about labels. Hello, Anita. Thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight.
Hi, and thanks for having me.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and what you're doing with Yes on 522?
Well, my name is Anita, and I coordinate our kitchen conversation program for Yes on 522, which are our events that are when people come to talk to each other at their kitchen tables about the initiative.
So that I got a hold of you because of that. I thought that was such a wonderful thing, this kitchen tables. If you go on to yeson522.com and you're a part of the Washington State movement of 522, actually, I think it does have to be in Washington, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can sign up to host this kind of a thing and find out and educate others in what Yes on 522 is all about and GMO labeling. So Anita has been a part of the campaign, and she's everywhere. So it's very nice that you're on my show tonight. So again, thank you. And I am wearing my 522. Wait, hold on there. And by the way, Gluten Libre. I am a huge supporter of them, so I'm wearing their shirt tonight too. So let's get into Yes on 522. Washington State is voting in November for this. California's did not go through, and it was huge in the news. Tell us a little bit about Yes on 522.
Well, Yes on 522 would require labeling of genetically engineered ingredients, as 64 countries already do. We're excited to have Washington State join them later this year. And genetic engineered foods are foods that have their DNA changed in a lab, and does not mean something that is a hybrid or selective breeding. This is only ingredients that are made in a lab.
So it's really made in a lab. It's not made in the soil and the dirt, kind of like nature is supposed to. So that's what a GMO, genetically modified organism. Is that correct? Okay, so this is what we want on our label. We want to know there's some packages here, and a lot of the gluten-free community, thank you so much, has already supported this label in Washington, by the way, and I'm sure they did in California too, but I'm just talking about Washington. So GMO, I want to know that I'm having some kind of chemically produced. A lot of people don't even know what that is. So goes back to Monsanto. Wait, how do you say that? Monsanto. Can you tell us what that is or who it is? Why does that matter?
They are one of several big chemical and agriculture companies, and they are biotech. They engineer different seeds that are usually resistant to some sort of pesticide or herbicide, and then so they sell these GE foods.
So we eat the pesticides and that's part of the chemicals that produce this GMO, correct?
Right.
And is there anybody besides that big company, Monsanto? Is there somebody else we should be talking about too that's producing these that are big?
There are several big chemical and agriculture companies. They are just the most well known.
Just the and probably getting the worst of everything. So would we find those names on Yes on 522, or should we just Google chemically produced food and it would come up with it?
That's probably a better idea. We don't list them on our website.
I guess not. I guess that would be mean. All right. So you do have all the businesses that endorse 522, and it's a long list. You've got chefs, you've got farmers, and if you go to there's a list. This is probably an older list. It's got, most of these are very healthy foods, plus most of them are gluten-free. So yay for the gluten-free community again. You're also featured in many newspapers, so kudos on that. You're having rallies all the time. Please check out Yes on 522. It's in the background. It's scrolling. There's a kitchen group on TV right now, or on the screen, and it's got farmers markets that are supporters. I do want to talk about a little bit of the opposition, and maybe you can clarify these things that I'm going to ask you now. So there's a lot of opposition on the GMO thing because people are upset that maybe unfairly it will hurt the Washington farmers, the food producers, and the grocers. What can you say about that?
It absolutely in no way will hurt farmers. We have lots of farmers supporting us. You can even check out our website for a list of many neighborhood farmers, and a big list.
Yeah, big list.
And we are also endorsed by the United Farm Workers.
Hello.
So farmers just isn't telling the truth.
See, and you need somebody to tell us this that actually knows what they're talking about from Yes on 522. So the next one would be, you would create more state bureaucracy and cause taxpayers millions of dollars. What do you say about that one?
I'm sorry, you're cutting out. Can you say that again?
What would you say? Would this Yes on 522 cause state bureaucracy and costing taxpayers millions of dollars?
No, it will not cost very much money at all. It's a very simple and straightforward initiative.
Very good to know that one too. So you cleared up that. And then, will it increase food prices paid by the Washington families?
Absolutely not. As I already mentioned, 64 countries have already done it, and they have not seen an increase in their prices. Labeling is something that's already a part of company. I mean, if you think about it, especially with the gluten-free idea, I had a cereal that recently had a gluten-free label attached to it that didn't used to. Hasn't cost me anymore.
No, it hasn't cost us anymore. And, I see those gluten-free labels all the time now. And even they're putting non-GMO labels on there, and I didn't see a higher cost on that. Exactly. By the way, non-GMO, are they just doing that for the heck of it? I mean, why is there non-GMO on most of my products lately?
A lot of companies who are organic or would like to they tout the fact that they do not use adding it to their labels, but it is currently not required one way or another, and we are trying to make sure that it is on every label so we have the right to know with all of our food.
Well, another kudos to those companies that have the non-GMO. I look for it, and I think it's important. Like we were saying, labels matter. And then also you mentioned cereals. Let's talk about what would be labeled GMO.
Think about it the way the things that currently have labels on them, all the packaged ingredients and foods that we have in the store, kind of like your cereal or any other thing you would find on the shelf, that would have a label on it if it has genetically engineered ingredients.
Is it required to be like in the front, or are they going to do like a microscopic thing that says GMO? You know, I mean,
it'll be in the front.
Okay, thank you, because I was wondering that. And then I mean, there's other states. There was Maine, and what was the other one that's already got this going on?
Connecticut.
So those are the only two other states, correct? Oh, those Alaska, right?
Connecticut and Maine have passed it through both houses. Vermont has passed it through one of their legislative houses. And Alaska was the years ago to pass a law saying that when we introduce genetically engineered salmon to the market, that it will be labeled.
And so the salmon too will have some, I mean, because I eat a lot of salmon being up in Washington, and there's a picture of which one has been genetically engineered to grow twice as fast. Hello. So how will that be labeled that it's a GMO? Because I want to know that one too.
Well, I mean, genetically engineered salmon, as well as any other potential animal that would be would have a label, and that would be really useful to know. But as of yet, we don't have any on the market, although genetically engineered salmon is likely to hit the market.
Oh, okay. So it's not salmon, genetically engineered salmon aren't on the market now, but they're trying to. I read in the article, by the way, go to yeson522.com and read their articles. They're really great. The last one that I just read talked about a Washington State farmer that is doing a genetically modified apple that won't brown. I thought that was really fascinating. He's just in the first stages, correct? I mean, have you heard about that?
I have heard of those. They're called Arctic apples. We do not know if or when they will hit the market, but it's certainly interesting.
Yeah,
and
I thought so.
I would like to have the option of
choosing the ones that brown.
Not?
Yeah, I want to choose fruit that browns naturally, and I'm okay with that. I don't want and they're called Arctic apples, and the article is great. It lists a bunch of different things. And then the last thing is, where can we find you? I've already talked about Yes on 522 a million times, but there's rallies going on. Where do we find all this information?
Well, you can always go to yeson522.com, or you can follow us on a number of social media. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr. I mean, find us anywhere, Yeson522.
There are
on our events.
And there are rallies coming up, I saw, that are in Seattle. And by the way, a big shout out to PCC. I shop there more because they're such a big supporter of 522. I keep saying 522. It's 522. So real fast, you want to give out a shout to PCC and how wonderful they've been to you guys?
Absolutely. They are fantastic. They help us so much.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that because I'm a big supporter of that. And Whole Foods, too. But PCC did a bunch of stuff before it even started. They rallied and got over 1,000 signatures. So I want to give a shout out to that. It's wonderful. So, Anita, thank you. And sign up for a kitchen... what's it actually called?
Kitchen Conversation.
Kitchen Conversation. You will actually talk to Anita during this. It's wonderful. Thank you again, Anita.
Thank you.
And this is Kathy. This is Kathy with GFree and Happy.com. I hope you learned a lot tonight because Labels do matter, especially for me. And until next week, have a great G-free and happy week.